Have you ever heard of the term word salad when it comes to narcissists? By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what word salad is so that you'll be able to recognize the signs if it's being served up on you. Hi, I'm Rebecca Zung, top 1% attorney and the best-selling author of the books Negotiate Like You Matter and Breaking Free: A Step-by-Step Divorce Guide. And I've helped thousands of people go from lives of drama, trauma, and chaos to step into lives of freedom, possibility, and purpose. And I do the same thing for you right here in these videos. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, but now is a great time to do that. Subscribe and hit that notification bell, and then you'll get notified every time I upload brand new content. Now, let's talk about word salad. What the heck is a word salad? Narcissists use a variety of things to deflect anything off of themselves and make sure that the other person thinks that they're crazy. They use gaslighting and all sorts of other techniques in order to maintain control over their victims or their targets. So when you are in a relationship with a narcissist, you're going to be dealing with word salad. And I've actually heard some of my clients and my subscribers and the people in my community have talked about how their brains end up feeling like scrambled eggs. It really is in a form of emotional abuse. It's a form of how they traumatize their victims. And it can leave you feeling very confused and very you're powerless and paralyzed. So, before I talk about word salad, let me just give you a little bit of a basic. If you haven't watched any of my other videos before, I want to make sure that I give you some basics, which is that a narcissist has no inner sense of value. They have to get all of their value from the external. Something happened with them when they were a child. They feel they have no self-esteem. They're actually extremely insecure, extremely fragile. And while all of us are on a continuum in some ways, in some ways all of us have what people would refer to as narcissistic traits, meaning, hey, we all want to feel seen, heard, and know that we matter. That is a universal feeling. If you are a human being, you have those feelings, and there is nothing wrong with those feelings. Of course, we matter, and of course, we need to feel whole and complete. The thing is, where you're dealing with a narcissist is where it becomes pathological, where it becomes they absolutely need to have it. They thrive on that, and it's so far gone on the continuum that they just have completely lacked any ability to care about another person. A lot of times people think, oh, that person says that they're so great, they have to be a narcissist. Well, you're forgetting about the second half of that, which is not only do they think that they're great, which is nothing wrong with that, right? But they completely lack any ability to have any feelings or care or empathy for another person. They may know what to do to pretend. And when they're love bombing, they're in that, and they do long for connection, but they just are so pathologically ill in a lot of ways. They're mentally ill. They cannot cross that bridge. So they feel that they have to manipulate the world in order to get what they want. And so they use a variety of tools. They have a whole little tool chest that they go to manipulate the world and to gaslight people and to just to continue to maintain control. In other words, they just don't feel inside that anybody will actually ever love them or be with them unless they are manipulating the situation. It's actually quite sad, but you empath, yeah, I'm talking to you, you cannot fix them, and the emotional abuse will not stop. They really can't be rehabilitated other than to, and I've talked to psychologists about this, And I do highly recommend that you watch some of my other videos, like with Dr. Romani, and specifically my interviews with Dr. Romani and Tina Swithin in One Mom's Battle, how to represent yourself in court. Dr. Romani actually talks about if they can be rehabilitated, and basically she talks about how they can learn how to behave sometimes. Like she has actually had a few narcissists as patients, and she's been able to get them to a point of being able to kind of pretend like they care enough about people, or go through the motions or act the right way, but they don't actually ever come to a point of truly caring, because there's something within themselves that's like broken. It's like wishing somebody could grow an arm back if their arm has been amputated or something for some reason. So it's just those some things are just not possible. So as part of their world of manipulation, they use something called word salad. And in the narcissism world, that basically means that they talk in a way that's like circular conversation. That's one of the things. You think something is settled, and then they come back as if it hasn't been settled, and there they bring it up again, and you're thinking, wait a minute, I thought we had done that conversation. Why are you bringing that up again? Something like that. So you'll provide an explanation for something. For example, why were you late? And you say, I was late because I was taking care of my sister. And then you have some big fight about it or whatever, but you prove it, you show I was late because I was taking care of my sister, blah, blah, blah. And then like 5 minutes later, they come back, why were you late? I can't believe that you were late. I can't believe you did this to me. And you think, didn't we just have this conversation? I thought we had this conversation. But there you are having it again. And they're just trying to like force it out of you again. And it's just a way of trying to make you feel bad or feel guilty or give them attention and show you how horrible you were for disrespecting them and not showing up when you were supposed to, and that sort of thing. So circular conversation is one of their favorite little word salad techniques. Another technique that they use for word salad is just a complete lack of logic. So for example, if they'll accuse you of cheating. You were at lunch with your mother and your sister, and they'll say, I know that you were cheating. And you're sitting there defending yourself thinking, what the heck are you talking about? I was at lunch with my mother and my sister. You know that I was texting you the whole time. I sent you pictures of myself there. I mean, and even if you didn't do that, you know that that's where you were, and you're just like the person who would never cheat. But yet here they are like saying, well, you're obviously a cheater. Look at what you're wearing. And you're looking at yourself going, I'm wearing jeans and a t-shirt. Like what you're saying has absolutely no logic whatsoever. It makes no sense. But here you are defending yourself like there's something wrong with you. And it's just this utter verbal chaos of like you're in the twilight zone. So that's number 2, is just a complete lack of logic. And another version of word salad is, your typical garden variety gaslighting. And if you want to know more about gaslighting, you should definitely check out my video on gaslighting techniques. But basically, it's saying things to make you think that you're crazy. They'll say, I'm going to go away for the weekend with my friends. And you'll say, oh, when are you doing that? And they'll say, oh, we talked about that and you agreed. Don't you remember? And you're sitting there thinking, no, we never had that conversation. Like, where did that come from? But when they do that over and over and over again, you really do start to question your own mind. You start to question your own sanity. You start to think, well, maybe we did have that conversation, because they'll do it to you over and over and over again so many times that you think, well, I don't know, maybe I am the one that's crazy. Or, and what happens with this whole word salad thing is it really just eats away at your self-esteem, and it eats away at your sense of self. So much so that you really start to question everything about yourself, and you start to really believe, and you've been so traumatized that you start to really believe that, gosh, if I were just more perfect, if I were just better, if I just tried harder, if I just were more careful with my words, if I were just, if I just checked in with him more and showed him or her how often I, um, where I was, I can prove to this person. I don't want to say him or her. Obviously there's narcissists in all genders. You just start to believe, like, it's me. It's definitely me. There's something wrong with me, and they really want you to believe that, until something in your little soul. And I always refer to the Maya Angelou, I know why the caged bird sings, because that caged bird is your soul. And when people end up in my office as an attorney and they're ready to get divorced, or I'm on a coaching call with somebody who's dealing with a narcissistic business partner, or somebody who wants to talk with me about figuring out a way or a strategy or leverage with dealing with narcissists, they start to, really see that, like, this is a soul decision. I call it a soul decision. Your soul knows that something is deeply wrong. Your soul knows that it's time to sing it. Your soul knows it's time to be free. And so slowly but surely you get that little glimpse of light. And that's when you start watching videos like mine, or many of the others of us who are in this space, that I've collaborated with, such as Dr. Ramani, Tina Swithin, Tracy Malone, Kim Saeed, Melanie Tanya Evans. All of us are in this space working for you you get that glimmer of light. Your soul gets that glimmer of light, and you go, oh my God, this is me. This is what's happening. And you start gathering information, and you start getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's why I do what I do. So if you are getting ready to negotiate with a narcissist, make sure to grab my free Crush My Negotiation worksheet. I cannot tell you how many thousands of people have downloaded my worksheet now at this point and have used it to help them in their negotiations with that narcissist. You can get it at the link below, or you can go to winmynegotiation.com and it will be all yours. If you want to join me in my free private Facebook group, there's so many people in there with us, and we are supporting each other, and you can be part of a community of people who are supporting each other. And that Facebook group is called Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung, and I'll drop a link to that below as well. If you like this video, you know what to do. Give it a like, give it a share, drop me a comment. I would love to hear from you. I try to make sure that we respond to all of the comments as much as we can. And if you like this channel and you like this content, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell, and that way you'll get notified when I upload brand new content. I'm Rebecca Zung. I'm so glad that you were here and that you stopped by my channel. Remember, today is a great day to start negotiating your best life. I'll see you in the next video.